Greetings and welcome back to Los Angeles Sex Therapy Team Video Interview Series founded by Moushumi Ghose, MFT. In this series, we introduce you to our therapists and coaches so you can get to know them on a more personal level by seeing them, hearing their voices, and learning more about their unique approaches to this work. I'm your host, Jamie Azar, sex, relationship, and intimacy coach at LAST and founder of Erotic Expressions. And today we're joined by Vanessa Icazbalceta-Soto, who will be sharing insights into her philosophy and the way she supports clients. Welcome, Vanessa, and thank you so much for being with us here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to kind of have people get to know me a little bit.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to learning more about your work as well. So we'd love to know what inspired you to become a sex therapist.
Oh, sure. I actually began as a high school counselor. And what drew me to that profession was simply being told that I was good at it by a team of counselors that I worked with. While I was at my local high school doing a small college advisement job. However, after working for a number of years in the educational sector, I found myself pretty frustrated with the lack of connection that I felt with some of the students I was supposed to be counseling. In California, a counselor can average over 500 students per caseload. So I felt drawn to be more connected to people that I worked with. And luckily for me, I had double majored and took the courses necessary to also become a licensed professional clinical counselor. So 6 years post-grad, I changed careers and deep dived into the world of therapy, and I've never been happier. Connecting with clients on an intimate level where I feel like I'm capable of making real change has been rewarding and illuminating for my spirit.
Yeah. And what would you say, Vanessa, is your unique approach to working with clients in these spaces now?
I mean, I would say I'm a big proponent of the power of lived experience. I can show clients my degrees, my certifications, my accolades, and the qualifications that make me a clinically trained evidence-based practitioner. But I'd also really like to talk to you about my experiences because what we go through is as equally important as to what any book can tell us. As for my approaches, I would describe them as like a smorgasbord of modalities. Not one approach is going to fit every person's need. At times, we may find that something like cognitive behavior therapy works well enough. And at times we may need to tap into something like somatic therapy or solution-focused brief therapy, maybe even schema therapy. When I meet with clients, we assess their needs together, the client and I, and we decide as a team what is best for them.
I love that. If you were to share 3 adjectives that kind of sum up your approaches to your work with clients, what comes to your heart or mind?
I would say honesty, collaboration, and curiosity.
I love that. Thanks for sharing. I'm curious for you, what's one misconception that you encounter, or you've encountered with folks, or just one misconception about sex therapy in general you'd like to clear up?
Sure. Actually, this one's an interesting question for me because one of the biggest misconceptions for me is the whole sex therapy equals promiscuity nonsense. Sometimes clients come to treatment thinking I can help them have more sex and that this will make them sex positive. And that's kind of a maybe. I actually recently wrote a blog on this topic that you can access via my website, vismentalhealth.com. In it, I talk about redefining what positive means to you. For some, yeah, it'll definitely mean more sex more often. But for others, being sex positive might mean safety or trust or acceptance. For me, sex positivity means that I'm allowed to explore what feels right for me at my own pace with no shame and no guilt.
I love that. And thanks for sharing and offering a new framework for thinking about sex positivity beyond compulsory heterosexuality and pressure. And it sounds like, again, folks that you work with get to think about that and what that means for themselves along the way.
Yeah.
What's something, Vanessa, that you absolutely love about the work that you do?
Well, I mean, I've been a therapist for a good while, but being a sex therapist has opened a unique space that I feel was honestly previously inaccessible to me. Sex therapy is still a bit of a taboo. And so people come to us and they have this wonderful space where they maybe for the first time start to feel safe. This is where they come to unload their heartbreaking trauma or explore that shameful kink they're embarrassed about. And what do they find? Caring, reaffirming, accepting clinicians. And that trust is the most valuable thing in the world to me, and the biggest reason why I love doing what I do.
Mm. What are some ways that you feel you're able to build that trust with folks who walk through your doors or who you work with?
I think part of that trust is somewhat innate, in that when you go to sex therapy, there is this underlying assumption that you can put more on the table than just regular therapy. So I think part of that trust is kind of like already uh, uh, connected to the job. But what I do as a personal clinician is in that first assessment, I'm really working with clients and being reaffirming, connecting. And yeah, they may not trust you on day one. I've had some clients really not trust me with some heavy, heavy stuff for months and months after we've started therapy. But everybody's at their own pace. And your reactions to the small nuggets of information they drop can be clues to them for how they're going to be able to work with and how you're going to accept the much bigger things, much bigger nuggets, right? And like if they're comfortable with this small thing that I've revealed, maybe I can reveal more, right? So sometimes it's just working and building on that trust little by little.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for adding that. Yeah, what would you say you want clients to feel after a session with you?
Curiosity. Yeah, curiosity. I want them to want more, to be excited to learn about themselves and about sex and their sexuality. I want them to feel safe and fulfilled with the session. That's what I hope for every client in every session, for them to just want more, to be curious.
I love that. Right when you said that, I was like, I'm inspired right now. And that's exciting. It can be an exciting journey with that curiosity as well, and very empowering. Vanessa, what would you say your specialties are?
I have a number of different specialties that these are the kind of clients that I think would best benefit from me. I specialize in the cluster B personality disorders, with the highest specialty in borderline personality disorder, but I also work with narcissistic clients, uh, personality disorder clients, and with histrionic clients as well. I also specialize in the BDSM/kink dynamic for new and seasoned kinksters. So if you've been in the kink community for 5 minutes, or you've been in the kink community for 22 years like me, I specialize in working with clients in that area. I also specialize in working with the LGBTQIA2S plus community. And in that regard, I like working with individuals and I like working with couples, kind of helping them develop new dynamics for their relationship in a world that may not be as accepting. I also specialize in body positivity in weight loss journey, or for people who have had significant weight loss and kind of understanding how the world treats you in the new body that you have. So we're talking about people who have lost, 150, 200 pounds, and that frustration and fear that comes with feeling like you are a new person and you don't know how to navigate yourself in this world, in this new body. And lastly, I also work with ethically non-monogamous and modern loved couples.
Wow, absolutely. So sounds like you have a lot of different specialties. And I heard also focusing on, a lot of core feelings of shame or frustration, fear, adapting to new bodies, BDSM, kink, borderline personality. Absolutely. So thank you for sharing all that. That's very helpful.
Yeah,
Is there anything you want to add?
I would say that the one underlying theme that connects all of these groups for me is that these are all marginalized communities. So even if you do not fall into one of these little boxes, if you feel like you're coming from a marginalized space, I want to work with you. That's the communities that I really want to build with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've got one final question for you here today. What's one hobby, passion, or fun fact that shapes who you are?
Maybe I have to. I am an academic at heart. I love to learn. I'm currently working on a PhD in human sexuality at CIIS. And while it's kind of rough, I am having a blast giving my brain even more knowledge. And when I'm not talking or thinking about sex, I am a baseball girly like you have no idea. 100% go Dodgers, back-to-back World Series champs. It's happening. I'm speaking it into existence.
Nice.
If the Dodgers are on, take a number. It goes beyond the boys in blue too. I just love the sport. All three of my kids love the sport, and I'm grateful every single year when they enthusiastically say yes to the question, would you like to play baseball this season? Woo. Feels good.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for being here today. It was so nice to learn more about you and your work and the space that you create for your clients. And I just can imagine the curiosity and the excitement, also the fun that people have with you. And I can sense your heart and your passion for this work. Is there anything else you're feeling called to share? Anything else you'd like to say to people who might be consider reaching out to you or working with you?
Sex therapists are not scary. We don't bite, come to the table, lay your stuff on the table. We're a fun bunch to be around. So I would say if you are thinking about it, jump in, do it. If it's not a fit, you move on. And if it is a fit, then, welcome to the rest of the journey. We're going to have a lot of fun working together.
I love that. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for being here on another interview series from Los Angeles Sex Therapy. We'll see you next time.